What is up, guys? SHAREfactory here, and today I'm going to be showing you my opinion on the best place to upgrade each of your drive forms in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Most strategies for upgrading any drive form are based around a mechanic implemented by the creators to refund you if your drive form is wasted. So for example, if you activate a drive form and then go to the gummy ship, you'll get all of your drive back when you go into a new world. And as you can imagine, this can be exploited heavily to upgrade your drive forms. Now you want to make sure when you're actually leaving the worlds, you're in your drive form, because if not, you won't get refunded the points. But as long as you make sure you're in your drive form, everything will go smoothly. And if you don't happen to make it back in time, there's a quick fix for that too. All you need to do is go to Olympus Coliseum and start up the Cerberus Cup. As soon as it loads, quit and you'll have a full drive gauge. One thing to keep in mind of is anti-form. This can be very annoying when you're trying to upgrade a specific drive, but you keep getting anti-form and having to stop and go to the Olympus Coliseum to refill your drive gauge again. This can be worked around by going into your drive form next to the save point. As long as you don't leave the same area as the save point, you cannot go anti-form. So you always want to make sure you go into your drive before you leave the room with the save point. But that's enough of my rambling. All prerequisites aside, here are the best places I've found to charge up all of your drive forms. First up is Valiform. Valiform is unique in the way that it doesn't really require anything specific. All you need to do is get hits on anything, and that'll upgrade your form. Any area will really work for this as long as you can get to a save point pretty reliably. For me, I use the area directly past the initial bridge to the world that never was, Castle. This area has a lot of decently strong enemies that you can dispatch with fairly quickly with enough hits to make it worthwhile. But you just want to make sure that everything you're doing is just that. If you're wasting time going back instead of making progress and killing things, it's not really worth it. On your first try, you may not be able to make it all the way to the top of the tower to the next save point. If you run into this issue, just make sure you turn around and go back to the save point you came from up until you can make it all the way. Now when you get up to the top, you just want to make sure that when you get to the next save point, you're still in drive form. You just go into the world map through the save point and teleport back down to the initial save point you came from. This will reset your drive gauge and you can re-go into Valiform and make your way back through the tower again. Wisdom Form is a bit more tricky. To charge up Wisdom Form, you have to get Heartless kills, and towards the end of the game, there aren't very many places where you can find weak Heartless that you can easily dispatch in large amounts. Where I found here, where you fight the 1000 Heartless battle, works pretty well. Over here, there are very few weak knights, just a couple dashes away, and as soon as you're done, killing them, you can go to the world map, come back in, and restart the whole process. This worked best for me out of the areas that I could find quickly, and I think it'll work well for you too. Next up is Limit Form, a brand new addition to Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. And to level up Limit Form, all you have to do is perform the final reaction command in a limit combo. Just like Valiform, this can pretty much be done anywhere you can get to a safe spot. But I chose to do it right here because this is also where I charged for Master Form. Speaking of Master Form, this is by far the best place that I could find to grind for Master Form. Now it all has to do with this carousel in the middle of Yuletide Hill, or Candy Cane Lane rather. Whenever an enemy hits this carousel, after you spin it, when they hit the carousel they drop drive orbs and life orbs. Now we don't really care about the life orbs, but Master Form levels up by collecting drive orbs. Small drive orbs are worth 1 experience and big drive orbs are worth 3. And as you can see by the footage, you can get a lot of drive orbs very quickly in this area. Not to mention picking up the drive form does give you a longer duration on your actual transformation. Last but certainly not least is Final Form. And Final Form charges by killing nobodies as opposed to Wisdom or Heartless. Now I choose this area right here because as I use with Valor Form, you can go from one side to the other in between two save points. Whenever you get to the next save point, you just restart and go back to the first one. Now I also chose this area because this is probably the weakest set of Heartless or nobodies that you can find outside of earlier when, of course, you haven't progressed very far. Because I have beaten the game once already and gone back on a new save file after beating Semnus. So all the enemies get leveled up with me. But these enemies over here still seem to be pretty weak. Unless it's just the Keyblade I'm using, in which case, I don't know. But as you can see, you can smash them all pretty quickly, and the size or type of nobody does not matter how much experience you get, they're all worth one. And there's a decent batch earlier of pretty small nobodies that you saw that only take a few hits to die. And after clearing this area out, you just want to go through on the elevator and make your way up to the next save point and then restart the process. This takes a decent amount of time due to the amount of nobodies you actually need to kill to upgrade Final Form, but it's well worth it for the glide you get in return. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you found the information I said in this video to be helpful and applicable to your game where you can upgrade your drive forms yourself. Now, if there is a better place that you can find, or one that seems to be easier than the ones I've proposed, make sure you write it down in the comments so I can adjust on my videos in the future. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a good day.